The path to long, safe drives starts with your sleep, and the path to a great night's sleep starts in the morning. When I started trucking, I heard a bunch of crazy stories like hallucinations and fatigue, and heard and seen plenty of truck accidents. And at that time, the people around me told me, hey, you have to drink gallons of coffee, open the window, blast the music, or later in my life, now in North America, uh, I heard cocaine is a great helper to drive long hours. And I always said to myself, because I love this job, I need other solutions. I don't like the taste of coffee. I actually hate the taste of coffee. I will drink it if necessary, but no. And cocaine, yeah, definitely not gonna try that. So after years of research and testing on myself, the various things I found, I made a system for myself, and in this video we're gonna explore that system. So if you want to see the system and other driving tips, please subscribe. Although us as truck drivers have a bad reputations of like being unhealthy and having bad habits,
because this is a hard job, and I'm not just saying this to win favour with lorry drivers, it's a hard job. Change gear, change gear, change gear, check your mirrors, murder a prostitute, change gear, murder, check your... That's a lot of effort in a day.
I personally am trying to deviate from that perspective, and I'm trying really how to be healthy, or like gather knowledge how to be healthy, and impose on myself systems or habits, or how to learn how to create habits for a better life for me, my family, and everyone around me. So when I say, hey, here's are some tips how to stay awake, it's not that simple. To be able to stay awake long hours, if it's required or necessary, or you have a bad day or you're tired, there are like several main factors, and not just gallons of coffee. One, like in the previous video with the winter driving tips, you have to know yourself a lot and leave the ego at home. As soon as you have a little bit of ego, bad habits come into play. So of course, everything that is good in life, it's hard also. It requires effort to do stuff. So if you want to drive long hours, or you're required to drive long hours, and you want it to be easy on yourself, you have to make a habit of other things, other aspects of your life. I'm not saying you cannot drive long hours with shitloads of coffee, or like blasting music, or windows open, or crap like that. You can, definitely. And those are some solutions, some tips that work for some people or majority of the people. But I'm like, I don't want to drive at minus 25 with the window open. There must be other solutions. Those solutions to be in tune with a healthy truck driver lifestyle. So for many years I focused on that, on how to get proper sleep, and not just, oh, I'm gonna find a quiet spot in a parking lot. That's a good tip, but that's not just one of them. So before I give you my system of how I prepare and what are my levels of preparing if I get sleepy or not, we're gonna go through what it's required to reach there, to be confident in that system. So like I said in the intro, everything starts in the morning. So first thing I do in the morning is drink half a liter of water. I think I heard this on Andrew Huberman, and also I put the water right at my head. I sleep on the top bunk, and I have a closet there, and I put it there because I want to minimize the friction points. I think Mr. Huberman told us. Because when you wake up, if the phone is closer than the water, then your first instincts or like stuff is like, oh, I'm gonna grab the phone. I'm grabbing the water. I drink the whole water, and then get out of bed, pray, exercise, change, all of the things that I do in the morning. I'll link here my morning routine that I did a video of. And then after 20-30 minutes, I look at the phone. If in those 20-30 minutes I can go outside and it's daylight, I'll do that, sunlight, daylight. I'll stay there, do my pre-trip, exercise outside. natural light and waking without the phone. That's one thing that I do to start the day good. And you might say, oh, but if somebody calls you, it's urgent. I have a thing on my phone. If it's an emergency, a person can call me 3 times in a row, and the fourth time, doesn't matter if the phone is on silent or not, it will ring. So I'm good there. And I only have my wife and my boss, so that's about it. Also in the morning, I don't drink coffee. Yeah, I don't drink coffee at all, but I don't drink coffee. I see a lot of people, and I'm not judging, I'm more curious, and I'm sure I can find the answer online. But I see a lot of truck drivers, they just wake up, start their pre-trip, go to the truck stop, get a bunch of coffee and drink. I'm like, if you had a good night's sleep, don't you get up energized? Or like, energy, why do you need more energy? I don't know, that's my mentality. I might be wrong, I don't know. That's how I think. So I don't drink coffee, and I also skip breakfast. I do intermittent fasting. I try to eat once a day, or if I would eat twice a day, I'll do it between 12 and 6 p.m. 1800. But I'm trying to do the 22-hour intermittent fasting. So those 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, I can put wherever I want. But I saw that a good balance for me is 12 to 6 p.m. Because if I'm going to sleep at 11, 10, 11, something like that, it's good that before you get to sleep, stop eating 4 to 5 hours before you go to sleep. One. Secondly, I don't bloat myself in the morning, so the whole day I'm like sluggish. And I eat, and I try not to stuff myself during those 6 hours. So that's my kind of morning routine, and that sets up my whole day. During the work day, so not the 24-hour day, the work day, if I start, I don't know, at 2 p.m. work, and in theory 16 hours, it's 4 a.m. in the morning, at half point, I'm trying, or I'm willing to do some exercise, do my daily calisthenics and stuff like that. Because if I know I'm going to reach that point without getting sleepy, I'm trying to do exercise and stuff like that, so I prepare my body to sleep. I consume energy, stuff like that. I don't eat at fast foods. Sometimes I'm weak and I get a Flying J pizza. Fucking shit, it is what it is. Also, sometimes during the day I take this off, so I give my eyes a rest. And also before the bed, I don't stay on the phone. Like, I try to play the Sudoku or chess or whatever I'm doing at least half an hour before I actually go into the bed to sleep. Also, for sleep, you should have like a cool temperature. I think it's 18 Celsius or 63 Fahrenheit-ish to have proper sleep. So for a good night's sleep, the research says you have to go to sleep in a colder temperature, like coldish, like 18 Celsius, but you have to wake up when it's a little bit warmer, like 23, 24, something like that. I have a study linked down below. So that's pretty much about waking up, the day, and preparation for sleep. Now the sleep itself. Again, because, oh, Bogdan, you told us how we're going to be awake. Sure. But if you sleep good during the night, then the next day is preparation. Sleep is preparation for next day, for a hard work next day. So you need to know how to sleep. So sleep. A lot of people sleep and then put alarm. Okay, I have to wake up in 7 hours and 8 hours and whatever. Sure. If that works for you, good for you. But we have sleep cycles, and they're like 4 stages. It's important, if you want to wake up good, even though no matter what you're gonna be lazy, I'm lazy when I wake up, you have to wake up at the end of a sleep cycle or between sleep cycles, because that's when you're like almost awake. If you wake from like deep state, you're gonna wake, you're gonna feel rested, but the whole day will not be, because you interrupted the process from recovery. Your body, your mind is recovering when you're sleeping. So when you're like midpoint or something, you fuck up these things. So a sleep cycle is between 70 and 110 minutes, so let's average 90 minutes. And then I did this, I don't know, I think for a period of, I want to say, 5 to 6 months. I tested different hours, how much I need to sleep. Because I noticed that for me, 7.5, 9, or big hours don't work. I do feel rested, but during the day, for some reason, I feel more tired. I'm more sleepy during the day if I sleep longer. So I tested 4.5 hours and I tested 6 hours. For me, 6 hours is bliss. I can run on 6 hours. I think I ran for 2 months and I didn't notice any degradation in my mental abilities or my driving or my focus or my stuff. I also did, I think, about a month with 4.5 hours. When I say a month, trucking wise a month, if I was home, maybe I'll sleep more, but I did a lot of days continuously with 4.5 hours, and I was still good. I was like, okay, I feel good. I'm sharp. Everything is good. So I can do that also. I also have studies, so each person has his own system. So you need to test this. So I'm not suggesting, advocating to sleep 2 hours a night. Just test on yourself for long periods of time and see how you feel. So sleep cycles are very important. So after a long day, try to not have the phone and try to wake up in sleep cycle. So if you do this plenty of times, like now if I'm on a 6 hour sleep cycle, I kind of most of the time wake up before the alarm. Because my body used to it. It's like, okay, I'm kind of need to wake up, and I wake up. And I'm very good for the rest of the day. Also for better sleep, of course, try to find a quiet place. I personally, because I'm doing reefer, I wear earplugs. Sometimes when I didn't have these, I also wear like an eye mask, a face mask, not face mask, eye mask. Because me personally, I don't like light. I want it to be pitch black and don't hear anything. So that's just me. And sometimes what really worked for me, there are like different techniques. Like maybe you cannot fall asleep. And there are breathing techniques. There's a military technique. You can count sheep if you want, if that works for you, sure. Or like white noise, like river, rain, whatever on the phone. There's a bunch of techniques that you can research and see which one works for you to fall asleep faster. For me, if I avoid the phone within the last half an hour or an hour, I pretty much fall asleep fast. If I don't fall asleep, I have a book, and I know that book, if I read 3, 5, 10 pages, that will, doesn't matter how interesting it is the book or not, reading, I'll fall asleep. Okay, remember to explore the video description for comprehensive research and source material. Each topic that I speak in this video is linked down below with experts in those specific fields explaining a lot better than me everything. Okay, so now we reach to my system. It might sound casual, but let me explain. I emphasize that you have to know yourself very well. Because let's say I started driving at 10 a.m., my shift will end 11 plus 1 a.m., 2 a.m., something like that. So I have to know how my days is going. Oh, did I eat right? Did I did exercise? Was I grumpy? Did I had was the day hard? Did I wait on the shipper a lot and I get angry? And then I have to predict, because if I know myself really well, I can predict around 9, 10 p.m. I might get sleepy. So in preparation for that, knowing that, having that knowledge about yourself and how your day is going, you'll be prepared for when the sleep is coming. When you'll get tired, you'll have knowledge and you know what to do. Step 1, I start with an energy drink. So, like in the previous example, let's say I need to drive until 2, 3 a.m. Around 8, 9 p.m., I'll drink an energy drink, coffee or a black tea, something, just to not get in that tired state just yet. So that will be good, I don't know, till 10, 11, I'll be sharp, I'll be good. But that's the first step. If I feel that I'm gonna get tired, that's the first step. I attack the problem before it becomes a problem. That's my mentality. I am prepared. Second step, and I think the second step, even though I have 5 steps or 6 steps, I think second step is the most important one because I personally gain the most out of second step. So, how do you stay awake? Well, of course, here at the second step you can include head out the window. Like I did when I was beginning in trucking, I did all of this too. Slapping myself really bad, getting the head out the window like a fucking dog. I love dogs. Or like, I don't know, blasting music, rock or hard music, or I did all of them. I didn't smoke cigarettes because I don't smoke. What makes me tired? Is it physical tired, I cannot hold my hands, or is like mentally tired? And most of the time, I presume for most of us, it's you're tired mentally because you're awake, you're driving, you're focusing, you're concentrating. Especially now it's winter, you're concentrating more, so it's mentally. So, okay, so how do I keep my mind sharp? Okay, coffee is one because coffee will provide that jolt. But for me, I don't like coffee. So how do I keep my mind sharp? So after a bunch of research and reading a bunch of papers, your mind is sharp or stays sharp when it's curious the most. So if you're like listening to a podcast and the podcast is interesting or creates a debate within you, oh, is this good, is this bad, is what's he saying true or not, a curious mind will keep you awake and intrigued until the podcast is over. So since now podcasts are like 2, 3, 4, 5 hours long, you gain a lot of time. Okay, maybe you'll not be able to listen a 5-hour podcast, but 3 hours will be gone. So that's why I said second step for me gains the most time. Curious mind keeps you awake. So what makes a curious mind? Audiobook, I have plenty of audiobooks, I'll link them down below. That makes me curious, be it fiction or like documentaries or like I listen a lot of autobiographies, so that makes me curious about someone's life and learn lessons from how they live their lives, so that makes me curious. Sometimes a good thing is also karaoke. I try to sing. Terrible at singing. I laugh at myself. But like a karaoke, I have a playlist for karaoke, it's like 20 minutes. An intriguing podcast will be a longer, or audiobook. It will last a lot longer. Another thing that you can do is speak with someone, but don't speak the truck stories or all bullshit like that. You have to speak interesting or intriguing things. One thing that I like to do is speak sports. Like if you're passionate, I'm passionate about motorsport, and I talk with a friend of mine, oh, that guy is better than the other guy, and oh no, that guy is better than the other guy. It gets you hyped because you're passionate about something, so you're getting hyped. Your mind is like, oh, I need an argument, I need to do this, I need to do that. So that will keep you awake also. So this second step, there are like a bunch of things that you can do. Just focusing on the mind, keeping it curious, or if not curiosity, comedy will keep your mind sharp also. Like I listen podcasts of comedy guys, and if I laugh, that's like very, very refreshing. Third step. So if second step fails or like gets me into 2 hours, but I need a lot more hours or something, I need to jumpstart my body. It's not about just the mind now, it's just the body, like the overall body. I need to jumpstart it. And I stop the truck, and it's like exercise hard, not hard because I'm fat. How hard can I exercise? But jumping rope, squats, push-ups, 5-10 minutes I go like hard. Like just exercise, even if it's cold or not, just exercise. Tell your body, hey bitch, we're not sleeping now. We're like, go. In theory, roughly estimated will give me another bare minimum 1 hour. I'll be like, 1 hour my blood is flowing, I'm good. Step 4, again, did the exercise, listen to the audiobook. I still have some more time to drive. I was like, fuck man. At step 4, I need to assess if I need to drive my shift. Because like, sometimes, like I'm doing Vancouver to Toronto, And usually I'm planning for 4 shifts or 4 and a bit shifts. So now if I'm tired, I just left the road when I'm stopping here just north of North Bay, then I'm kind of screwing myself over and I might miss the delivery or I might miss an appointment that I have at the doctor. I might think, I'm not saying those are important, but I'm saying, hey, my eyes are not falling, I'm just tired. I feel that I'm tired, I'm not sleepy, because there's a difference between sleepy when your eyes are shutting down and tired. You're anticipating that your eyes are gonna shut down. So I need to assess, hey, do I need to finish my shift? If I don't finish my shift, how can I reschedule and how can I make what's going on here? Oh, okay. So I need to reassess if I reschedule my trip and see how it works. Talk with my boss if I can talk with my boss. Step 4 actually is like, hey, we kind of need to sleep, or like, let's prepare for sleep. Is there an option for that? If there isn't an option, then I'll still stop and I'll do a power nap. Power nap is anything between 20 and 40 minutes. I spent also on this quite a bit to learn this skill, because it's not easy to just power nap, put an alarm, because you're gonna be lazy, stuff happens. Maybe some people do power nap regularly and it's easy for them. For me, it wasn't easy. So what I learned, don't do power nap in the bed. I do it here on the chair. My head against the window, I put a hoodie as a pillow, my legs on the passenger side. I put an alarm at 40 minutes, so usually I wake up before the alarm. And that power nap will reset myself really well. And I'll be able to, with that power nap, to go, I cannot say in hours, but let's say minimum of 1 hour or 2 hours with a power nap. And that should be sufficient to reach my end of my shifts or whatever I wanted to achieve. I try to avoid reaching this step, but if it's required, if my planning is like that, this is the solution at 4. 5, very rarely I reach 5, if at all. I reach sometimes, I don't know, traffic jams or stuff like that, and I really need to reach the destination. Again, not really, because if I'm sleepy, I'm gonna stop, I don't give a shit. But I'm not drowsy or anything, there's just preparation. So like, okay, nothing works, I'm gonna stop if I have this possibility, because sometimes, especially here in Canada, I don't have that possibility. But if I have the possibility, I stop, cold shower for 5 minutes. But cold shower, not warm to cold and back to warm. Straight cold. That is big jolt. That's adrenaline inducing. That should most definitely take me to the end of the shift or wherever I wanted to reach. So kind of that's my 5-step plan of how to stay awake or like be responsible when you're tired or you're preparing to get tired. You know what I mean. Also have a bonus step, step 6, let's call it. If everything else, do some blow. No, I'm joking. Probably I'll do this at step 4, but don't stop on the shoulder. Here in Canada, we don't have exit ramps because this is not a freeway or something. At the first road that I see it makes a right or a left, I'll stop the truck and I'll sleep. Period, no discussion. I'll write an email to dispatch or my boss. Hey, I'm sleepy, I'm not gonna drive anymore, I'm gonna take 8-hour rest here, right where I am. I'm not driving a single mile. Again, I'm not stopping on the shoulder, but the first road I find, if I'm reaching that level of tiredness. I'll rather risk a ticket or annoy some people that use that road, but I'll explain, hey, I was very tired, this was the safest place I can stop. Please be understanding. If not, yeah, give me the ticket, it's okay. But again, leave the ego at home. I understand there are people that drove a lot of time. Back in Europe, not allegedly, because a bunch of time passed, I drove from somewhere close to Eindhoven, Netherlands, to Rotterdam, where I picked up, and then drove straight to Bilbao, and then from Bilbao to Madrid. Straight. That was like, if I remember correctly, a 28, 30-hour drive straight. Because I really wanted to visit Madrid. And I think I left on a Wednesday. Delivery was, because in Europe you drive 90 kilometers an hour, and delivery was Monday or some sort in Bilbao. I drove straight. I think I delivered Friday morning, and by Friday afternoon I was in Madrid preparing for the weekend in Madrid. I was really happy. I was like, oh my God, I made it. I'm a little bit tired, but we good. I have friends in Madrid. We're gonna visit Madrid. This weekend is gonna be a blast. In the meantime, my dispatcher called because they could track my truck and said, hey Bogdan, where are you? Well, I'm empty in Madrid. Awesome, then you can go pick up this wine that we have for you. No. I did this crazy stuff so I can visit Madrid. Yeah, but the one is just 1 hour from Madrid. You can pick it up and come back to Germany. So, back in the day, I drove some long hours, but I was as responsible as I can be. I know here in North America, there are there are people that still do, let's call it the long stints, which is, I respect that a lot. I like that a lot. Because I understand the perspective. I understand that if you know yourself, you know your limits. I'm not saying it should be a law, but I think in Australia, and I wish it was here. I might be wrong, but I'm gonna double check this. In Australia, you're allowed to drive, I believe, 13 hours, but then after a period of time and you pass a test, so with more experience, and if you pass that test, you're allowed to drive 16 hours. So I'm like, well, that sounds good. If I passed the test and I prove that I'm safely I can drive 16 hours, and I should be able. And then the drivers that have experience and have that accreditation, they can say, hey, I'm a driver can drive 16 hours. I can definitely ask to be paid more because I'm more experienced and I'm allowed to drive 16 hours. So I would like that to be in Canada. Again, we shouldn't go by crazy numbers. Oh, who can drive 24 hours or 30 hours or 50 hours or stuff like that. But there are people that do that. Watch Cannonball records. People drive, I think the record is 34 hours straight, and the average speed is on 160 miles an hour or something. I might be mistaken about that. But that's impressive. I like that. I couldn't imagine my truck, but sure. Anyway, with a hectic schedule, maintaining a regular sleep pattern can be challenging, especially for us truck drivers. Fatigue is a common issue in our industry, and I hope this knowledge, small tips or normal tips and tricks, will help you to be safe on the road. Thank you very much for watching. If you want to see winter driving tips, press here, I believe, here, somewhere. Subscribe, and I think my next video is gonna be about intermittent fasting for truckers, or like eating healthy habits for truckers to be more healthy and less fat. Bye.